Hi, my name is Jaime Rich. I work for the Center for Human Development. I'm the Director of Environmental Prevention. I am associated with many programs at the agency, but the goal of all the programs are to reduce underage substance use. So this is very near and dear to my heart to secure our young people's future and let them be as successful as they can be. So, but marijuana, what's the big deal these days? Why not use it? It's becoming legalized in many states. It was just legalized, recreational marijuana was legalized in California. So a lot of people are thinking, what's the big deal? Especially young people. If they've legalized it, it must be okay to use, right? So it's very important that parents and young people realize that it's not benign. It doesn't just do nothing to you when you smoke marijuana. There are physical effects, and there are psychological effects, and there are emotional effects. Some of the short-term effects can be increased heart rate when someone is smoking, slowed reaction time, and that can be linked to more increased risk for traffic accidents. In fact, kind of a funny anecdote that police officers have told me is, when someone has been drinking too much and they're driving, they usually are driving erratically and very fast and very dangerous. Well, when a police officer comes upon someone who is high from marijuana that's driving, they're usually going extra slow, but dangerously slow, like, 35 miles per hour on the highway. So it's kind of interesting. It does affect someone's driving in a different way, still as dangerous. The other thing with slowed reaction time is that it can affect a young person's athletic prowess. If someone's an athlete, a young person, and they're smoking weed before they go to a game, they're not going to do very well on the sports field. They're not going to be able to catch that ball as quickly. Their reaction time is going to go down. And these effects, if someone is smoking on a regular basis, these effects can last days or even weeks when someone's smoking. So it doesn't just wear off. And of course, this can result in someone not doing well in school, not being able to take in the information. They have difficulty thinking, reasoning, doing homework, of course, if someone's high on marijuana. Also, interestingly, anxiety levels go up when someone smokes. But a lot of people think to smoke marijuana to decrease their anxiety levels, to chill out, to calm down. But what can happen is, first of all, when someone is smoking, they're more prone to panic attacks when they're high. We've all heard about being paranoid, that it can increase that feeling in a person. Plus, when someone is getting off a high from marijuana, they're at increased risk of anxiety problems as it's wearing off. So those are some of the short-term effects. Some of the long-term effects from the smoking would be chronic cough and bronchitis. Also, increased risk of early onset schizophrenia has been shown in studies. If someone has a predisposition for schizophrenia, a young person, and they're smoking, their risks for having signs of schizophrenia early are increased when they're smoking marijuana. Again, also on long-term effects, anxiety and depression can be increased in someone who is smoking. Again, on the opposite from why people think to take marijuana. Also, reduction in IQ scores. Studies have shown that IQ over the long term, when someone is smoking on a regular basis, can go down 6 to 8 points over a period of time into their adulthood if they've been smoking. And this might sound like a little, but it actually can be the difference from someone being average to below average or average to above average. And of course, linked with poor school performance because of all these reasons we just said. And one of the most important things to understand about a young person using marijuana is their brain is still developing until they're age 25. So any outside drug, substance is going to alter that brain functioning and that brain development. And so very dangerous for someone to try these things when their brain is still forming. Their reasoning, their judgment part of their brain can be hindered. And what else can happen is, as I had said previously in another video, there's THC receptors in your brain. And when you do things that you like to do that bring you pleasure, like listening to music, hanging out with friends, reading, playing a sport, those THC receptors are dinged, are activated, and you get happy and you feel pleasure. When a young person is activating those THC receptors by smoking weed, by taking in THC, they then, after a while of doing this, they try to do those things that they used to like to do. Hang out with friends, go to a concert, listen to music, read, play sports. It's not really doing it for me anymore. I'm not getting any happy in that. I'm just going to smoke more weed because the things that used to make them happy are not working anymore. So what a young person can appear is checked out. They're just, not doing any of the activities that they used to do. They're not hanging out with the friends they used to. They're not liking school because nothing's working for them. The only thing that's working is to lie on the couch, smoke weed, probably be by themselves, and they have to keep smoking more and more to keep feeling good. So, something to look for. Also, marijuana stays in the body. It's fat soluble, so it stays in the body a lot longer than alcohol or other substances. You can still detect marijuana in hair and in the bloodstream up to 30 days after someone has been smoking. So these long-term effects can stay on for a while. And in the next video, we're going to talk about signs and symptoms, things to look for in your young person, in your teenager, that may clue you in that possibly they are using marijuana.